I'm Mayor Allen, and I want to welcome you to another edition of Good Work. And I think that you're going to enjoy the show that we have planned for you today. Our first guest on the Good Work Show is Chris Hitchens from College Admissions Solutions. Chris, how long have you been in the college admissions industry?
I started at Peters Township High School, where they asked me to develop a course called College and Career Symposium, and I went through all the training with the independent educational consultants about 8 years ago and put together the class. So I taught the class at the high school level, and then when I retired, I'm now working on my own as an independent consultant, as just an advocate for the families and working with the kids on their college applications and their college choices.
Now, do they still have the program at the college, or is that something that they've done away with and you took it out on your own?
At the high school?
Yes.
At the high school, they don't have that course anymore. So after I left, they discontinued that class.
So you felt there was still a need for it, obviously.
Definitely a need for it. So there's counselors across the country, thousands of people in my association, Independent Educational Consultant Association, working with kids.
Okay. And what age do you begin working with the high school students to prepare them for college?
Usually, even in 9th and 10th grade, we could talk to the parents and the students about their high school curriculum, what classes they're taking, what kind of financials are going to be needed for the college education. Usually, though, in 11th grade, when they're entering junior year, we'll start to get serious about looking at careers, looking at majors, choosing colleges that we can compare, and talk about, where the financial aid is going to end up coming from.
Yeah. And what type of specific information do you go over with the students when you first meet them?
One thing I like to do, I give each student personalized invitations, spend dozens of hours with the kids learning as much as I can about them, their personality, their likes, their values, where they see themselves in 5 years, where they see themselves in 10 years. We talk about careers, which leads us into majors, and then that takes us to which colleges they would fit into best. And then we look at the colleges and we compare the colleges based on their size, their location, how much money they're willing to offer the student, and things like that. But it really starts with the student's personality and the student's needs. So I'm really an advocate for the student.
Okay. So you speak to the students first, and then is it important to get their family involved in the whole process?
These days, the whole family has to be involved in the college application process or college selection process. The money involved is ridiculous. Probably, except for buying a house, your college education is going to be probably your greatest investment that you have in your life.
Sure.
And so the whole family has to get involved.
Okay. And do you help with all aspects of the student as far as like loans, housing, entrance letters, financial?
Everything from the beginning, from personality tests, like I said, to look at their values, where they see themselves in the future, their careers, choosing schools, working on their application, working on their essay, working on their college visits, getting their letters of recommendation from their teachers, getting everything in on the specific deadline, adhering to all the college deadlines, adhering to the financial aid schedules, their SAT, their ACT prep, every aspect until they leave that first day to college.
And you work with them from the first time that you meet them right through the whole process?
Right from the first day, we're on a schedule.
So you're making sure that they get their letters out on time?
Oh, yeah.
But it's a shame that they did away with that program because it seems like a great program.
Yeah. Well, I put them in my own program, and we're in constant contact, myself, the student, and the parent, constantly.
Okay. So if a student walked into your office today, what would, if you can like sum it up as far as what it might or sound like, what exactly would you do from beginning to end?
I like to focus, so eventually I'd meet with the parent and the student, but I like to focus on the student. So I'd ask them, where do they see themselves maybe in 10 years? But I don't like to put the kids on the spot. So I may ask them, what's your favorite class in school? Who's your favorite teacher? What do you like about it? What do you like to do in your spare time? And so we learn as much as we can about the students, if they are involved in extracurriculars or volunteer work or community service, or involved with their church or athletics and things like that. And just it takes a little bit of time to get to know a person, but we have the time, so we get to know each other, and then they go into my system. So I have some programs that the schools wouldn't have that learns about their values and their future and their work ethic and their personality, and it comes up with suggested careers, which kind of leads us to majors, which sort of then will lead us into what colleges we should be looking at.
Okay, and then you do the letters, the applications, letters of recommendation to make sure that they get them in on time so nothing falls through the cracks.
Exactly. Nothing falls through the cracks. We plan this out ahead of time. So if they're a junior, I'll tell them, okay, which teachers can you see in the future, in a year from now, who would give you a letter of recommendation that you could be happy with? Okay. So we plan this out. So there's no surprise. It takes a lot of stress off the family, a lot of stress off the kid too.
Okay. And then the students, once they get accepted or pick a college that they want to go to, then that's pretty much the end for your program, or does it go further than that?
It's going to go a little bit further, because now they may get accepted to 3, 4, 5, or 6 schools.
Right.
Now we want to really compare the financials. We want to compare the financial aid offers that they give the students. I mean, you can look at 2 schools that are extremely similar, but they come up with entirely different money that they're willing to offer the student. So we need to look at those. And sometimes that's a deciding factor, sometimes it's not a deciding factor, but we need to look at that these days. And really the students who this is a huge effect on is the students with the higher SAT scores and the higher GPAs. They're the students who are really going to get the merit money from these schools, and that's where it's really important that they make informed choices.
Yeah.
And I just offer them options. And let's go over the options.
So, well, I'll tell you what, after listening to this, I wish you were around when I went to school. Would have made it a lot easier for me.
I feel the same way, because when I went to school, I don't even think I wanted to go to college, and I started off at one school and transferred to another school. I finally graduated from Penn State, which I love, but I wish I would have started there.
Yeah.
I think I wasted a lot of time. Every semester a student spends in college, more than over the 4 years, they're losing tens of thousands of dollars. Not only do they have to pay the tuition and the room and the housing, but they're also out of the job market.
Right.
I do everything we can do to get the student out in 4 years, but a third of the kids who enter college drop out, never go back.
After the first year?
After the first year. So how much money and time did they just waste?
Right.
And then half of those students who stayed in, it takes them 6 years to get a degree. So every year that you're out of the workforce, how much money did you lose?
Right.
So it's ridiculous. So that's one thing that I emphasize. We're going to plan this out. We're going to schedule this out, this 4-year plan. And you're going to know how much in student loans you're going to owe after those 4 years. Maybe it'll be zero. Maybe it's something you're comfortable with, $10,000, $20,000. But we're going to know this going in, so you don't have to sit there thinking, okay, I'm going to owe $100,000 when I get out of college.
Right.
That's just not going to happen.
So
So plan this out. That's one thing. Just being prepared, looking at all the options, and kind of taking that stress level way down.
Yeah, it certainly would help in the long run. Okay, well, you know what? I appreciate you being here today.
I appreciate being here.
I learned a lot. My kids are through school,
Right.
but I still have the grandkids moving up, so it's a program that I think it will be very beneficial to them. So
Thanks.
thank you for coming.
I appreciate that. Thank
Okay.
you.
Hi, I'm Becky Lazier. I'm the president of the Black Hawk Family Relief Fund, and I want to provide a little information about how you can get access to our resources. First, you can find us by searching Black Hawk Family Relief Fund at the search bar at the top of your Facebook. And you can join our page from there. We share a lot of information that way. We're working on getting a website up as well, and you can also contact me directly by emailing us at blackhawkfamilyrelieffund@yahoo.com. If you're interested in supporting the fund, we have a GoFundMe page and an online t-shirt fundraiser that's posted there on our Facebook page. You're also able to make donations in person at any Citizens Bank branch by asking them to look up the fund. And we are also accepting mail. If you want to mail in your donation, our address is Black Hawk Family Relief Fund, 2765 South Park Road, P.O. Box 105, and that's Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, 15102. Thank you.
Next, we're off to 3065 Industrial Boulevard to ceramic tile, cells, and more. And we'll be speaking today with Andy Bushmeyer. So, Andy, when was this business established?
It's been through several owners over the years. I've taken over as of January now, but we've been here since the late 80s, doing the same thing all the time. I'm the third owner, right in line.
So it started in the 80s then?
Yeah, late 80s. My former boss, Bob Simpson, a lot of people that have come down here are familiar with him. He's took it over in '99 and has owned it since January. And he's working for us now, kind of helping out with his expertise. He's like a walking encyclopedia.
He's in his retirement, so...
Yeah, doing a little retirement jobs. He's working a couple days a week for us and helping with estimates.
Okay. We have a very extensive showroom that we'll be looking at a little bit later. But is the public allowed to come in to view the showrooms, or just for contractors?
Absolutely. The public is allowed in. The public has just as much access to everything here as a contractor does. We actually are trying to market a lot more to the public and do-it-yourselfers. The way the industry is now, there's just as much information out there to help people who have no idea how to make these installations work for them. There's videos online, there's instructions that just YouTube is something that everybody's familiar with using, and you can find every piece of information on how to install just about anything in our store or our warehouse from simply typing in the right word into YouTube. So yeah, absolutely, the public's welcome, which is really where we want to kind of build our sales from and start marketing to do-it-yourselfers, because there's not a lot of companies doing that aside from like Home Depot, but you know, Home Depot doesn't have a lot of flooring experts walking around the store that can get you really the right product for what you want to do.
Yeah. Is that what makes you different from the Home Depots and the Lowe's?
Absolutely. There's a lot to know in this industry, what adhesives can go with what materials. You can't put a mastic behind a glass tile. A lot of people don't understand that. You should use a glass-rated thin set. The difference between modified thin sets and unmodified thin sets, you need someone that understands a little bit behind the chemistry and in order to get the right products so that your installation that you spent probably thousands of dollars on doesn't fail in the first couple of years.
So what you're selling basically is your expertise in the field, because that's all you do.
Absolutely.
But what type of products do you actually have here?
So we do just about every kind of floor covering that you can think of other than carpet. We do hardwood, we do natural stone, marble, granite, porcelain, and ceramic are really our bread and butter. Floor tile, wall tile is what we've been experts at for the last 20, 30 years. But what we'll do custom installations, floor tile, wall tile. We also do laminate and vinyl, LVT, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl floor, waterproof floors.
Okay. The word luxury, caught my ear before. What is a luxury vinyl tile? Is that different from regular vinyl?
It's an industry term now. So you'll see back, 10, 20 years ago, a vinyl floor would have been on a roll, and they roll it out across the kitchen, and people call it, laminate floor. Now those laminate floors are coming in vinyl planks, so they're calling it luxury vinyl tile. It's a real similar product, but they have come a long way in the last 10, 20 years. They're a lot more of a substantial material. They're very much more waterproof. They're very more protective. They're much more stable on your floor.
I remember years ago when someone would walk on a vinyl floor, if they had like high heels on, the indentations would be right on the floor. So I'm sure they corrected that over the years.
That's actually a really interesting point that you brought up. That's something that we talk about a lot. A woman's stiletto heel is something that can be very damaging to floor, especially when you're talking about hardwood. There's a PSI rating associated with hardwood floors or any floor, what kind of damage that it can withstand. And a woman's high-heeled shoe is actually very damaging to a lot of hardwood. So if you have an area in your house where you want to put hardwood in and you want to entertain, have dinner parties, things like that, you want to think about using a hardwood that's higher on the Jenga scale so that you can protect your wood and make it look nice for longer.
Well, for our ladies out there that are viewing this show, just keep that in mind, what Andy said, because it can make a difference, obviously. When someone comes in to the store, is there a staff to help them, or?
Absolutely. Emily sits behind our desks. She's very, very well versed in designing, in picking colors out, picking things that go with what you've already liked. People come in our store and have a countertop already picked out that they love, or a paint color that they love, and she's great at basing what you want to do around that idea. So she's going to be a certified designer coming up here real soon. She's doing her studying. So if you want to help designing things, or if you just want to look around the store and kind of put things together yourself and be your own designer, we can work with you either way.
Okay. Now, do you have your own installers, or do you subcontract out?
We do have our own installers. Our installers, Dave and Bobby, have been with us both for around 15 years. They're employees here. They're not subcontractors.
Okay.
They've been with us for a long time, and we're really blessed to have them. They are really experts in this field as far as installations.
Okay, great. Well, right at this point in time, if you can give us a tour of your showroom,
Absolutely.
show us some of the product that you have, that'd be terrific.
I'd love to. Welcome to Ceramic Tile Sales. So the first couple rooms when you walk into Ceramic Tile Sales here will be our tile rooms, and then we organize everything here according to manufacturer. So American Olean, Atlas Concord, USA, Marazzi. We carry a lot of products who come from reputable manufacturers. You're not going to find a lot of third world manufacturing, stuff that hasn't passed quality control checks. So we try to put everything together according to the manufacturer, how they like to display it, and have a multitude of samples that you can take home with you. I always tell customers when they first step in here, don't be overwhelmed. We have a lot of stuff. Your goal shouldn't be to find just one thing that you love. Your goal should be to find something that possibly works. Take it home, see what it looks like in the space, and then bring it back and tell us how it looked. Was it too pink? Was it too yellow? We can adjust that and find something that works for you. So anything you see in the store can always go right out the door and go home with you. Another thing you'll see at Ceramic Tile Sales, which probably you've seen a million times, stone look tile, but the newest rage that a lot of people are talking about is wood look stuff. I always tell customers, if you have a room that has water in it, a sink, a dishwasher, laundry, or an exit or an entrance to the house, those are areas that can get destroyed very easily, either by stones that are stuck in people's shoes when they're entering or exiting the house, or water existing in the space. So this really creates an environment where you can have a floor that looks like beautiful hardwood that isn't susceptible to the damage that hardwood is susceptible to. So what we've done is kind of taken some of our favorites. We'll set some of the wood look tile displays out by themselves. So if you come here looking for hardwood tile, you can find that all in one space, and you can search through countless boards of different colors, different styles, mimicking different styles of wood. Something that really 20, 30 years ago you just couldn't find. If you wanted to do a hardwood kitchen and your refrigerator leaked, you were going to have big problems. Now you can do a hardwood kitchen in all kinds of different hardwood, and you can eliminate a lot of the problems that people would have in regular construction installations. So another something we like to show off here at Ceramic Tile Sales, a lot of the suppliers that we work with that import tile from Europe and other countries really impress us quite often. One of the things that impresses us, this is a company called Arley out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. We're big partners with them. They have a beautiful facility out in Scranton. And they do some really cool tile, mosaics, and some things that most people haven't really seen before. One of the newer things that they've come out with is this series Ardor. They've done this differently. So a lot of tile that is designed to look like a natural stone, but not a specific natural stone. The whole series Ardor, I believe there's 8 or 9 different samples. They're all very different looking. This is one of our favorites. It's modeled to look like a gray marble that came out of Italy. Every one of these stones is not just made to look like a natural stone. It's actually made to look like a very specific natural stone from a specific place in Italy. So you can take the true marble and hold it up right next to this. You will not be able to tell the difference. It's a beautiful polished porcelain, so it's really impervious to stains. You can do anything to this tile Porcelain is one of the hardest building materials that you can use. If you put a pre-sealed grout on it, your level of maintenance is literally zero. It never needs sealed. It's super easy to clean. The grout will be waterproof if you're using a Bostik True Color, epoxy grout, or something really quality. So you get a really beautiful look without all the kind of maintenance and annoying things that you have to do. Seal your tile once every other year, seal your grout every other year. Marble and granite are soft stones, so you're going to get them scratched. They're going to look terrible if you abuse that floor, if you have kids, if you have dogs, if you're really using your floor and living on it. It's going to be destroyed in 5 or 10 years if it's a true marble, a true granite, a true natural stone. So you get a marble look tile that's in porcelain, and you can't do it any more of a beautiful way than using a tile like this from a company named Arley. So one thing for customers to keep in mind, especially contractors, where you're getting tile is a big deal. There's a lot of reasons not to look at tile at big box stores. Some of the biggest reasons: tile at big box stores is driven by price. It's driven by how low of a price can they buy it, and how much can they make off it when they sell it to you. That is the farthest thing from what drives us here at Ceramic Tile Sales. Tile is going to come out of die lots. So a certain amount of tile, whether it's 5,000 square feet or 50,000 square feet, is made all at one time. So when it's made all at one time and it's dyed all at the same time, it's guaranteed to all be the same tone, exactly the same color throughout. Whether the tile varies a little bit from tile to tile, it's all made at the same time. It's all sized the same. Even a 1/16 of an inch in the tile industry, or a 32nd of an inch, can be a huge deal. When you're talking about a tile installation that has 20 tile laid across the floor, a 1/16 of an inch, once you lay 20 tile, is over an inch. So if a tile varies by just a slight amount, it's going to ruin your tile set. It's going to cause grout joints to be different sizes, and it's going to cause the joints not to look square, the tile not to sit right on the floor. It's going to have problems. So one of the things that drives us here is all the tile that anyone gets here, whether we're building a car dealership or a small powder room, all the tile you get is going to come out of one die lot. We guarantee that it's going to be the same size. We guarantee it's all going to be the same color. So it's going to match. If you ever need to replace a tile, you should have 1 or 2 left over that are guaranteed going to be the same color. Another reason not to look at these big box stores, you'll see names like Marazzi, a great tile company, but these companies are huge. They're billion-dollar companies. They have manufacturing facilities in lots of different countries, from China to Mexico to the United States to Spain and Portugal and Italy. So they manufacture different types of tile in different manufacturing plants. They also have, as you would imagine, quality control checks. So a lot of stuff you're going to find at big box stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, the Tile Shop, places that are big chain stores, they're going to buy tile that is possibly not made it through their quality control check, so they got it at a lower price, and that's what drives their business. We would never buy tile in that fashion. We want everything that's quality control checked, make sure it's going to work for your installation. So you'll see names just like this. Our tile from Marazzi, most of it's going to come out of Europe, a lot of it comes out of the United States, but you're not going to see a lot of this third world manufacturing here. You're going to see quality products. So if you take a tile from here, just as one example, you can get Marazzi at Home Depot. I challenge you, go get a tile from Home Depot. Bring it here and hold it up to next to one of ours. You'll actually see, the first thing you'll notice is the thickness of the tile. The thickness of the tile that you're going to see there is going to be thinner. They make the same tile, the same look, but different specifications, cheaper sales. They're thus selling to the large box stores in higher quantities. So it's a lot of things to think about, a lot of things to understand, and a few reasons why you should look at someone that really understands this industry for your installation. So if you come into the back 2 rooms of Ceramic Tile Sales, we leave a lot of the tile, ceramic and porcelain up there, and in these rooms we have a lot of laminates and vinyl. Vinyl is one of the most improving products as far as sales across the country. It's really blowing up as far as how much people are using it in their houses. With good reason. It's an inexpensive product. It's also inexpensive to install, and especially with some of the problems that we've had recently, this year especially, the floods that we've had in Bethel, we built a small basement floor for a friend of mine who lives right down in Bethel. He had carpet in half the basement, and we installed a vinyl in the other half of the basement. When the floods came, his whole basement flooded out. Had to tear all of the carpet out, had to remove all of the furniture, had to remove the vanity in the bathroom, all this stuff. Our floor that we installed in his basement is just as good as new. All he had to do was mop it, clean it. He didn't even have to pull it off of the floor. He said there's no smell in there. Water can get underneath of that vinyl, so there is a concern that tile would remove, but tile is more expensive. So if you're looking at a nice plank of vinyl, square vinyl, whatever you're looking at, we have a whole line from multiple suppliers here that people would love to take a look at. So if you're interested in hardwood, we also have a whole room in the back here full of lots of different hardwood displays, from domestic North American hardwoods from Mirage and Chelsea, also Indus Parquet and Belisara exotic woods. If you're looking something for a little wild, we do a lot of Asian walnuts, strand bamboos, a lot of exotic things that are hard to find at stores, big box stores, stuff like that. Hardwood is hard to match. Its beauty is really second to none. It needs installed by the right person. It needs to have the right subfloor underneath it. There's some considerations to take into account, but if you're interested in hardwood, we'd love to have you down here. Take a look at anything we have, take it home, and see what you think of it. We have some really interesting things from Mirage to Chelsea to Indus Parquet. We really can do it all down here.
Well, Andy, I want to thank you very much for the informative tour today. And for our viewers out there, if you're looking for ceramic tile or wood, just come to you on Industrial Boulevard.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, thank you for watching Good Works today. I think it was very informative for you, and we will see you next month.